accomplish greatness? Do you want to accomplish greatness? I mean, high levels of success in all areas. I really want to know. It's a real question. It's a real question. It would appear, it would appear that everybody does, but I can't be naive enough to think that everybody does because not everybody wants to accomplish greatness. Am I right? Not everybody. It's hard. It's hard. It's a big task. You have to have like time and patience, and you got to want to learn, and you got to want to grow, and it's not easy. Are you willing to spend all of your life growing? Are you willing to spend all of your life getting to the mark? Not everybody does. Listen, y'all. This Sunday and Monday we have an event coming up called the Podcast Summit, and every single time I do an event, in the middle of the doing of the event, like the promotion and the getting it all together, I always regret it every single time. And I tell myself at the end of every event, I'm not doing no more events for a while because it's draining and exhausting and takes all my money and all my resources. Um, so in the middle of the fight, I don't want to accomplish greatness anymore. After this, I don't want to do it anymore. But when you're idle and you're not doing a whole lot, that's when you have all this ambition and you're ready to go. Man, I can't wait for my shot. I'll endure all the pain and the heartache and the heartbreak and the suffering. I'll go through the fire. When you're not doing anything, that's when you're most motivated. It's the easiest to say, I want to go after something. It's easy to say, I can't wait. Listen, I'm gonna crush this thing. When you're not doing anything, it's so easy to say what you are going to do. But when you're in the fire, when you're in the fire, I can imagine how many basketball players or football players throughout the season of training and conditioning and playing and almost getting to the finals, and we don't. Some people say, yo, I can't wait to get back to the season. But some people during the time, if you're having a bad season, I'm sure there's a lot of sports figures that say, I'm going to do something else. I need to take this money and invest in real estate because, like, I'm doing all this training and conditioning for nothing. Our team sucks. Our team is terrible. And I don't know how long it's going to last. We're a bad team altogether now. I want to accomplish greatness, but in the season, it's like, yo, I'm taking my summer off and I'm gonna do some cool stuff and I'm gonna like build some wealth that's not based on me shooting a basketball. But during that summer, I would imagine that it's even more exciting. Y'all can't. We gonna crush it this year, y'all. Why is it this way? Am I right? You ever thought about that? Man, listen, I had the biggest dreams while I was working at the Cheesecake Factory of what I was going to do. Then I get into the fire and I start considering, man, maybe I should be a manager at the Cheesecake Factory. When I'm fighting in the business, I remember going to the club one day, and that was my strategy. I was going to the club one day, and I would do my normal thing. I bring a bag full of shirts, and I would give the DJ a shirt. DJ looked me right in my face and was like, I don't like it. And I said, "What you don't like the color, or this ain't your color? You are blood and it's blue, and you don't like the blue? I I can live with that. I can understand." It's like it's just not something I will wear. And I remember going home that night thinking to myself, "It's over." It's the wildest thing. I'm thinking to myself, "It's over." If he don't like it, Other people aren't going to like it. I'm already not making a whole bunch of money. Maybe this is the first person to tell me the truth. Fast forward, y'all, before we get to the conversation today. I realized that feeling is a part of it. The feeling of wanting to quit, the feeling of wanting to stop, the feeling of imposter syndrome, the feeling of maybe I got lucky. You get a couple wins and you say you get some wins and then you don't get wins for a while. You start feeling like that win was luck. It was just luck. I got lucky. But that's all a part of it. That's all a part of it. Business is up and down, up and down, up and down. Income up and down, up and down. Emotions up and down. Feelings of success and feelings of failure. Feelings of like value and feelings of insignificant. It's up and down. It's up and down. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. Some of you may be in your late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, 50s. Maybe you're feeling like you made a bunch of bad decisions in your 20s and now it's too late. I'm telling you, that's a part of it. Whatever you're feeling right now, it's a part of it. So I may have this huge vision to create more podcasters than any other podcaster, to create some podcast millionaires, create podcast six-figure income, to create career content creators. I have a mission because I understand where the world is. The world's attention is on content. It's on YouTube. It's on podcasting. It's on social media. The people who make the best content make the most money. And I have a mission to pull people out of that fear of hearing their own voice, that fear of creating, the fear of the camera, the fear of the microphone. I have this mission, but the mission only feels inspirational before I have friction. I'm only super inspired when it's just an idea and there's no responsibility of the work, but now that I'm in it. So I am super pleased with what's going on with the Podcast Summit. It is going to be amazing. But every single day, a problem arises. It's a fire that I have to put out. But then I realize that it's all a part of it. Somebody throw it in the chat. It's all a part of it. 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 Name someone that accomplished greatness that didn't have to go through the fire. That didn't get attacked. That didn't have problems. If you read the Bible, Jesus' whole ministry was going to heaven. Now, I don't know what these people are talking about today on social media, but his whole message was, we are going to go through the fire. This is going to be a hard journey. He said, people are going to hate you because of me. He's talking to his group. He said, because you rock with me, people are going to hate you. You are not going to have an amazing time. I understand that it feels good to talk about all the money that you're going to have and all the prosperity that you're going to have and all the feelings of amazingness, but that wasn't Christ's message. He said, now after all this kind of stuff, after we go through all this, there's a promise at the end. I'm just warning you up front. I'm warning you up front. This is not going to feel good. But when you get there, streets of gold. No crying, no pain, no issues. You'll be fine. So can I give you a warning today? Can I just warn you this morning that it's not going to feel good? The motivational speech of enjoying the journey or enjoying the process, a lot easier said than walked. I'm telling you, I've walked the journey my entire entrepreneurial career. I left the Cheesecake Factory 2012 and been a full-time entrepreneur ever since then. Up and down, feeling good, feeling terrible, wins, losses. I've had children. I've lost parents. I've gained friends. I've lost childhood friends. I've succeeded with some of my friends. I've had friends steal from me. It's a journey. It's a journey. So I'm telling you, if you're going through some tough times right now, it's a part of it. But what you decide to do with that is 100% up to you. Okay? Do we quit or do we keep going? Are you guys going to quit or are you going to keep going? Are you going to quit or are you going to keep going? Somebody talk to me. Are we going to, because it hurts, do we quit? Or do we understand that this is a part of it? It doesn't feel good right now, but joy comes in the morning. I promise you. Maybe not this morning. Maybe not tomorrow morning either. You might have a few nights. You know what I mean? you might have some mornings when you wake up where, okay, there wasn't a whole lot of joy this morning. But if you can like root yourself in gratefulness and start counting all the things you do have, it makes you feel better and allows you to keep going. Okay? All right. So let's get into the conversation that we're going to have today. Over the next 3 days, we're going to have a Launch Your Podcast training. Why am I doing this? Because we have the podcast summit coming up and we've got tickets left. It is going to be packed. Oh my gosh. It's people coming from all across the country to Miami to come learn how to create content and be a podcaster. So I feel really, really good about it. And this is going to be a life-changing event. So if you're listening right now, go to podcastsummit.com. I'm live on my Instagram, guys. Podcastsummit.com. Use promo code socialproof, 20% off. Let's go. Now, here we go. We need to launch a podcast, and there's a couple reasons. That I'm going to go over. But before we go through it, have you decided what you want to be in life? Have you decided? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be popular? Do you want to be important? Do you want to be impressive? Do you want to be helpful, normal? Nothing wrong with the desire to be normal. I'm not about to go after getting a whole lot of money. I'm not about to go after getting rich. I definitely don't want to be popular. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm not trying to be impressive. I don't necessarily want to be important to the world. I'll be important to my family, but I don't necessarily want to be somebody that makes it. You know, people say, hey, protect this man at all costs. Protect this woman at all costs. Like somebody gave me that post one time and it felt really, really good. I'm like, whoa, I'm important. You want to spend your life being helpful? Mother Teresa was helpful. I think Nelson Mandela's goal was to be helpful, right? But I think you really got to decide what do you want to be. Let's just take a moment right now. Social media stuff aside, what do you want to be? What do you desire to do with your life? I talked to my wife one day and she said, I want to be the best mother that's ever mothered. She said, I want to raise brilliant, smart, intelligent children. Goals. Never heard her say, we need a 20,000 square foot mansion. Never heard her really say that. Never heard her say the goal is to fly on private jets all the time. I never heard her say she wanted to lead a revolution or be an activist or be the person with the bullhorn during the march. Never heard her say that. She said, I'm going to raise these children. You know what's crazy? My children get smarter and smarter by the day. Bruh, my wife was sitting there asking her, she said, hey, what's your name? She said, Sarai Shans. I'm like, dang, she know her last name? That's crazy. I wasn't there for that training. And then she said, what's your birthday? The girl said her birthday. She's 2 years old. I'm like, when? And then I put it on Instagram as if I put it on my stories. I'm like, look how smart our baby is. I didn't do none of it. You know what I mean? She was making cupcakes the other day. I took the egg, cracked it. She's 2 years old. Cracked the egg on the side of the bowl and got the egg, and it was insane. I say all that to say what? There was a person who set out a goal to be excellent in an area, and she's accomplishing it. I commend that. Some of you only want to make all this money and live this lifestyle because you've seen other people living a lifestyle when you really get fulfillment by being helpful. Or some of you, like, you're doing all this philanthropy, but that's not really what drives you. You want to be important. So whatever you decide to do with your life, one, we need to decide what we're going to do with our life, but whatever you decide, that needs to be the mission. That needs to be a mission. My goal was to be rich and popular. I wanted that. I like it. I really enjoy it. I mean, I wanted to lead people. And you could see it, like, even throughout my journey at the Cheesecake Factory, my goal was just, I kept bringing people together, events. I got old footage. I've been doing workshops for a long time before it was popular and cool. I got the footage. But you got to decide what you want to be, okay? And now we're going to start creating content around that. Your future is totally up to you. Throw it in the chat. Your future is totally up to you. Your future is totally up to you. Your future is totally up to you. Your future. Totally up to you, okay? All right, so here's what we need. We all need to create content, and podcasting is the best way to do it. And here's why. If you want to be relevant on social media, the best way is to continue to put content on social media. Now, some people approach it where I'm going to make some content today and I need to figure out what to post today. Well, the best way to do this is to spend some time with a mic and a camera and record some stuff for a long period of time, 40 minutes. If you do an interview, you get one of your friends. They don't have to be no super high-level entrepreneur. Get one of your friends, have a conversation, record it. Take that conversation and pull out 7 pieces of content and post those one a day. It's the easiest way to create content versus having to learn a dance. You know what I mean? It's, in my opinion, easiest way to create content. You start a podcast with the message that you have for the world. You do it one time a week, and you make those posts all throughout the week. We all need content. We all need content. Content is driving the world. Name a handful of products that are being sold without content. Name someone that inspires you. Name someone that inspires you, that sells a product or service that doesn't create content. You won't be able to name 5. In this world right now. Martin Luther King is Martin Luther King, I think, because he created some really cool content. He had some stuff to say. We recorded some of the messages. There's probably some people that were just as powerful in that day. They just never recorded it. What do you think? Probably super effective. There's probably some people that are beloved, right? Because of what this person did and their messaging and their significance. But there's no streets named after them because they didn't create content. Martin Luther King gave a message every week. But then throughout the week, he had to give other small messages. So at his church, once a week, right? But throughout the week, there's other little messages that he had to keep giving out throughout the week. Man on a mission, had something to say, creating content. You are going to be significant, but we have to stop being afraid of creating. So, what do we need? We need a camera, we need a microphone, some lights, and a concept. Camera, microphone, lights, concept. You need a camera. You have a phone. You can use it. I would rather you start right there, get comfortable creating content, and then go get your camera. Then go spend some money on camera. Save your money. $20 a week. for, I don't know, the rest of the year if you need to. Then get a camera. Okay? You need a camera, mic, lights, and a concept. What kind of camera? I use the Canon M50. I use a Sony FX30. I use a GH5. Those are 3 cameras that I use. My first camera was a Canon 7D. Just get a camera. But most of the cameras that are on your phone are better than the cameras that I started out with. And then get some sort of microphone, because the microphone and the cameras, they're just not as good. You can still use it if you're going to create content on your phone. That's fine. But you need a microphone. Make sure you have good lighting and a concept. Hey guys, if you wanted to be known for a concept, what would it be? Put it in the chat. If you wanted to be known for a concept. I've always been pushing entrepreneurship my entire life as an adult. I've always really believed in entrepreneurship. So when I decided to create my podcast, it was around entrepreneurship. Why? What else would it be about? What else would it be about? This is what I wanted to be known for. I wanted people to understand how to become a successful entrepreneur. That was the goal. So start my podcast around that. But whether it's going to be education, entertainment, I don't care if it's going to be sports, mental health, comedy, cleverness, statistical data. Listen, I'm sure if Cynthia was going to start a podcast, it would be something real nerdy, something around tech or something like AI. She loves this stuff. But that goes into, this is the picture that I want to have for myself. This is what I want to be known for, and I'm going to create content on that thing, not just creating content for content's sake. It makes it a lot easier when you know what you're trying to do and what you're trying to become. It makes it a lot easier to create. Would you agree? Okay. Building something needs promotion. And how do you promote the thing that you built? So I'm assuming that a lot of people here are entrepreneurs. I mean, you're in the morning meetup, so I would assume that you, like most of you, are entrepreneurs. But you do understand that if you're going to build something significant, it takes promotion. You have to promote it. You have to tell somebody about it. How many people have a hard time telling people about it and making posts? Listen, the last couple weeks, my posts on my social media have been all over the place. And I have not liked the posts that I've been creating over the last couple weeks. But my friend Words sent me a text message like 3 weeks ago. He sent me a message and he said, he screenshotted my page and he said, what on this page tells people that you have a podcast summit coming up? The answer was nothing. It looked good. It was really good content because in my mind, I'm trying to make sure I have content that people are going to like, share, engage with. But he said, what on this page, if I'm just coming to your page, what on this page says that you have a podcast summit coming up? And the answer was nothing. But I'm so focused on making my page look pretty that I was willing to not sell tickets. I'm willing to trade the sales for aesthetics. Sounds silly, doesn't it? How many of you are in that position? You're willing to trade sales for aesthetics. You'd rather it look good than to tell somebody, hey, buy this product, because you don't want your page to be too promotional. Now, after the summit, I'll take down all the promotional stuff about the summit. No problem. But for right now, I need to be promoting every single day that you have, that I have something that you can buy from me. And I know that's a lot. That's a challenge that we all are facing, I'm sure. We don't want to promote because we don't want people to think that we're too promotional. We don't want people to think we're always selling something. Listen, I got a friend, shouts out to Neo. He don't care what you think. He's listen, one of the running jokes is, yo, if Neo got your email address, he's going to promote. You're going to buy something. But that's why he's rich. Because he knows he has something that's going to help people and he's willing to tell people about it and ask for the money. This is something that I have to learn. There's something that I have to learn. When he sent me that message, changed my life. What on your page tells me that you have something to sell? If I go to your page right now, what on your page tells me that you have something to sell? Out of the top 9 things on your social media, there may be one. Why? Because we want followers and we like engagement. And when you post that flyer, you post promotional stuff, it doesn't get as many likes. But think about this. The person that actually liked it is probably actually considering buying the thing. So you may lose 1,000 people looking at your page or 1,000 people that follow you engaging with that post. But what if a few people liked it and one of those people bought? Would you trade that? Of course. Of course. Okay, y'all, this post isn't for you. It's only for the people that want to buy. But we have to get more intentional about promoting. Most podcasters, they're just not promoting. They're not promoting the thing that they offer. And I don't know if they're not proud of what they're creating or they don't want people to know that they're really, really heavy into this podcast space, or most of the people who have a business, especially the ones that's getting it off the ground, we're going to promote in the very beginning. But when we realize that we don't get a lot of likes and engagement, we move away from the sale of the product and we get back to value content. You'll stay broke that way. You'll never make any sales that way. We have to change our mindset. We have to tell people every day, all day, that this is what we have to offer. We are selling stuff. Do you have something to sell? Do you have something to sell? Listen, it killed me. I started thinking back. I'm like, yo, now I'll post a flyer for the morning meetup every single morning, and then I take it down, right? But I need to go on like some sort of campaign and create like 30 pieces of content telling people why they need to wake up in the morning and get information. And then offer the morning meetup. That's what I should do. Have I done it? No. Did I just come up with that idea just now? Yes, I'm going to do that. Hey, Cynthia, make sure we talk about, make sure we discuss that, because I think that's a really, really good idea. But we got to figure out a way to tell people about the thing that we do. Okay? Let's come up with some creative ideas to tell people every single day. And we got to get out of our way. Listen, building something needs promotion. How do you intend on promoting your business? Do me a favor, throw it in the chat real quick. How do you promote your business? How do you promote the thing that you sell? How? How do you promote it? There's only a few ways I would imagine in this day and age that we can consider social media posts, telling somebody about it physically, so we can post about it. Or we can hit the streets and go make sales. If I had a cleaning company, nobody wants to do this, but you could just go around the neighborhood and knock on people's doors. It's still a thing. And say, hey, I can clean your house. No, you don't want it? Hey, I can clean your house. You don't want it? Hey, I can clean your house. Yes? When? Tomorrow? Cool. Let's do it. Do you realize you would make money that way? Do you realize that the more people you ask, the more money you make? And the more people you ask, if you're intentional about finding out what works, you'll start to change up your strategies and you'll notice, have you ever done something for a while and then you realize that it was something that you were doing wrong, and when you changed that something that you were doing wrong, it worked? You ever? So I'm trying to get these people on my podcast, and I'm reaching out to people. I say, yo, I would love for you to get on the podcast. I would love for you to tell your story on my platform. And I realized that it wasn't a whole lot of like receptive, like, all right, cool, no problem. I'll have my people get with your people. Or they'll send me an email. Or they're like, okay, give me your email. I'll reach out to you. And it just it wasn't that effective. But the people that I wanted to get on my podcast, I remember saying it one time, like, someone asked me, hey, like, how many people do you have on your podcast? So not how many people. What is your viewership? Like, what is, and I started telling them. And I'm like, yo, this other guy got on my podcast, his following grew by X amount of people. Other lady got on my podcast, she sold X amount of dollars. And then like, yo, when can I set up mine? I should have remembered the lessons from How to Win Friends and Influence People, that people don't care about what you want. I say, I would love for you to get on my podcast. It didn't work. Then I started talking about all the benefits of them being on the podcast. Like, yo, I'm really, really busy. And there's a lot of people that want to get on the podcast, but I think you have a really, really good story and you'd greatly benefit. They started knocking down my door to get on the podcast. So like the strategy was just in the conversation and how I'm saying it. Is that a big tweak? No, it's a choice of words, but I'm doing something over and over again. And eventually start asking yourself, is there another way I can go about it to get greater results? But we still have to do the work. My fear for this generation is y'all just don't want to do no work, man. Golly. If you make a post and it doesn't work, it's over. You try to rebrand yourself into something else. It's the wildest thing. Do the work, y'all. Do the work. All right, so we can do social media posts. We can hit the streets, like just physically out there asking people to buy stuff from us. Traditional advertising efforts, well, we get a billboard or we advertise on a bus station, like the little bus terminal joints. You could do that. Get flyers. Word of mouth from other mouths, right? Like you could do something amazing, satisfying the client, and the client goes to tell somebody else. But in your head, you have to figure out what is the best way that you can promote you. So knocking on people's doors might not be for you. But if that's not for you, you're going to have to go heavy on social media then. If you don't want to go heavy on social media, you're going to have to knock on some doors. If none of that stuff works for you, maybe you're focusing on really locking in on a service, making people feel wonderful, and getting referrals from those people. That is going to be your strategy on promotion. Whatever it is, you're going to have to figure out something. You're going to have to figure out something. You have to promote. There's no way around it. That is I think, you know how people say, like the number one reason why people don't succeed. There's no number one, right? But I believe it's really, really important that you just don't tell nobody about what you do. If you were dedicated to telling more people, you'd win. Why are we having this conversation? Because I'm doing my best to convince you that you can be a figure. You can be an influencer. You can go get to the money. You can be popular. You can be powerful. But you're going to have to create content and continue to tell people your message. Listen, I got a billboard design. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, only because I've been on this podcast, some stuff. But you will see a billboard in Atlanta at least, because the goal is, how can I get more people to know about something amazing? But you got to promote, okay? How many people throw it in the chat? How many people have a really hard, like now that we're having this conversation, you're like, I don't really tell people about what I do. I'm a secret agent. I tell people when it's convenient. If somebody asks me, I'll let them know. Yeah, I knew this person for like a year, and they told me that they've had their real estate license for mad long. Had no idea. If the conversation isn't around houses, then they're not talking about it. So how's anyone going to know that you sell houses? You will never, ever get it mistaken that I have a podcast, ever. You're not going to get that twisted. There's no mistake that I have a podcast. Okay? If you talk to me long enough, it's going to come out. Okay. Here's the thing on the podcast thing. We need a cool concept, okay? We need a really, really good idea. If you have that really good idea and you're willing to tell people about it, you have a camera, mic, and lights, and you're willing to create the content, you'll be very successful by next year. Unbelievable, right? Do you believe me? If you have a really good concept, you're willing to relentlessly tell people about that really good concept. You're willing to create content, namely a podcast around that content that you're telling the whole world about. You have a camera, mic, and lights. You will be successful next year. At least more successful than you are right now. It's almost a guarantee. So, what is this concept? Tomorrow we're going to go over some concepts. And I want to help you with some ideas. Okay? Just some things to jog the memory. We're gonna come up with some creative ideas. And these ideas, you guys are going to take. I'm going to let you extract this stuff from my brain on how to create content. Like what can be a unique twist, because we have to have some sort of unique twist. I went from interviewing just entrepreneurs, and now I'm having tough conversations. Side note, we're going to do hot seat interviews tomorrow at 11:30. And I'm thinking about changing the name to interrogation room, because I like interrogating people. So I'm working on the idea. Oh, Marion, thank you so much for putting. Yeah, make sure y'all put that in there. Yes, we're gonna record tomorrow. So if you can stomach an interrogation about your business, pull up. Morning meetup. What else was I gonna say before I went into? So I took some questions. Yeah. Oh, you can just be in the crowd too. You don't have to necessarily get in the hot seat, but you can if you want to. You can either watch or you can actually join in. What else? What else? Podcast Summit this Sunday. Who is going to be at the Podcast Summit this Sunday and Monday in Miami, Florida? Go to podcastsummit.com. Meet me and over 1,000 other people there to learn how to create content so you can have the best year of your life. Use code. I think we got an MMU code or a social proof code or something like that for a really good discount. Or if you know somebody who has a code, use their code. That would be good. It was something else. Okay, so hot seat tomorrow. Podcast Summit. Are y'all going to get your ticket? Who hasn't gotten their ticket yet, but you're going to get your ticket? Who hasn't gotten your ticket, but you're like, I'm going to get my ticket. I just haven't gotten my ticket yet. Bryce, you can use social proof and take a good, I'll be there VIP style, me, going to get mine. Hey guys, go get your ticket right now. Right now. Is there a meet and greet? Yes. We're all going to meet and greet each other. Okay. We got a really, really dope R&B concert coming up too. Some of your favorite artists from the 90s, 2000s. I booked out celebrities, guys. Okay? We've got celebrities. And we're going to have a dope concert after the summit is over on Monday. It's going to be amazing. It was something else I was going to say. Y'all should just meet in the lobby on the 29th, for sure. If y'all in the morning meetup, just meet in the lobby and just go kick it. I'm sure somebody going to orchestrate that. Yeah, Bryce, you can use that. What else is it? It was something else I wanted to share. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay. Let's get a couple of hands, questions, comments, concerns. Let's get it from the morning meetup.